What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Flock Takeover. If you're enjoying the almost daily Ravens content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Ravens Lounge episode featuring second-year pass rusher Mike Green and some of the biggest takeaways from the interview. Then we'll shift our focus to the OTA standouts and who have been turning heads recently. We got a lot of interesting news to cover, so let's get into it. Let's start with Mike Green. The Ravens had another Lounge episode featuring the second-year pass rusher, and throughout the whole interview, you could get a sense of the mindset that he's bringing into this next season. Green talked a lot about continuing to develop his game after coming off a season that he mentioned wasn't up to his standards.
Every edge rusher is going to want to hit that double-digit sacks. And I feel like sacks is just one thing that just comes as a whole. You know, I don't think you just get one sack here, then the next year you get one sack. Like once you get a couple of them, they all start to form in after that. And it's a lot of other things that goes into sacks that I feel like a lot of people don't really know. But yeah, once you get a few under your belt, like, and then you could just take off from there.
Hearing that he's really hungry to produce in the second year is very beneficial for the young pass group around him. I like how he also mentioned that he wants to become a double-digit sack player, saying once you get a few under your belt, they just start piling in. But he was also asked how hard it was to adjust from college into the NFL.
It raised my standards so high, but like it's like little things like coach showing me those clips where I was just this close make me really realize like, all right, well, I'm doing the right things. It's just the matter of time of when.
Knowing the coaching staff has that faith in Green will not only maximize himself, but maximize all the people around him. He was asked about Trey Hendrickson as well, and what it's like not only playing besides Trey, but being able to learn from him and having such a veteran impact on himself.
Yeah, Trey, he's a great player. He's a great person overall. I feel like he brings so much value to this defense that a lot of people probably don't really realize. Besides the sacks, he talked about and he's been coaching me up to this point. Really helps me elevate my game a lot.
My biggest takeaway from the whole interview was Mike Green. He went into depth about Zach Orr's scheme and how it really wasn't a good fit for everybody.
Probably wasn't the best for us, and I think that you kind of have to shape around your pass rushers and like what they're good at.
As Ravens fans, we could all agree with what he said. We've been talking about Mike Green dropping back into coverage for weeks on weeks, multiple plays every game. And Mike Green came in as a pass rusher, a dominant pass rusher. So seeing him drop 15 yards back and letting tight ends get behind him, it's just frustrating knowing that Mike Green is capable of getting to the quarterback. We seen what happened when Odafe Owe left with 0 sacks, ends the year off 10.5 sacks, including playoffs. So he had 7.5 sacks in the season and then got 3 in one playoff game. Seeing Odafe finish off so strong when he was pushed into a new system, it just shows what Minter will be able to do for this defense, and it gives all Ravens fans a lot of hope. I also don't think Ravens fans talk about how much they rotated the pass rush. I fully believe like if a player is hot coming off a sack, they should stay in that game and build off the momentum, not only themselves, but everybody around them. Now, with Mike Green being one of the bigger talking points, he wasn't the only person in media causing buzz. The Ravens also released their OTA standouts, and we'll be covering each one. Starting with Nate Wiggins, Ravens mentioned that he got his hands on a bunch of passes throughout all the OTAs, including picking off Lamar Jackson once and breaking up another pass with his speed. But heading into year 3, it seems like he's going to make that jump from a really good young cornerback to a top cornerback around the league. I think with Wiggins, the scheme was a big issue for him as well, with him playing 10 yards off the ball when he's a man-to-man type of DB. Another name that stood out was Zay Flowers. The Ravens said he was targeted often and just caught about everything that was thrown his way. He's continuing to put in the work despite already being a 2-time Pro Bowler. If Lamar and Flowers continue to keep building chemistry, I wouldn't be shocked if he had the best season of his career. We've already covered that in a prior video where we think he could reach 1,500 yards. Moving on to Zion Young, the rookie. The Ravens pointed out his physicality. They mentioned him pushing the pocket, winning on the edge, and even making plays on the interior. Obviously, the pads aren't on yet, and it's harder for the offensive linemen to not win reps because they can't grab the chest piece or be able to drive holding on to something. But if he's already standing out this much, that's a very encouraging sign. Also, Jalen Hawkins, another underrated signing this offseason. He was another player highlighted after breaking up a deep shot intended for Zay Flowers and consistently being in the right position. One thing coaches value is always the reliability, and it seems like Hawkins is quickly earning trust from the coaching staff. Devontez Walker was also another player who took advantages of the OTA practices. With Rashad Bateman not participating, he just had a kid, so of course, he's not going to be out there. But it does mention that Walker stepped up and reportedly caught the first deep ball of the OTAs while continuing to show off his ability to stretch the field with his speed. It sounds like he's making a case for a bigger role. And with the rookies coming into this year, I feel like Devontez Walker needs to continue to flash in these OTAs and practices and show why he could be a wide receiver 3 or even become that wide receiver 2 role if, Bateman gets traded before this offseason or midseason. Going on to another rookie at one of our weakest positional groups, we got Josh Cuevas. He keeps continuing to impress everybody. They said that the Ravens highlighted his activity in the passing game and mentioning that he had the best catch of OTA, a full extension diving grab over the middle of the field. Hearing that he's already making plays as a tight end is very encouraging and very exciting to hear the positional group and where it stands at this point, losing Likely and Kohler. Finally, we get to Trey Hendrickson, probably the most dominant person in these OTAs. The Ravens signed him to be a closer. They've been getting a lot of work in third and long practices, where he reportedly recorded multiple sacks during the situation and immediately made his presence felt. Honestly, this is probably the least surprising name on this list. We paid him what we paid him. We know what he's capable of doing. But just hearing that he's really contributing in the early off seasons and the optional off seasons at a veteran age is great to hear for this pass rush. But again, my biggest takeaway from these OTAs is going to be the pass rush again. You got Mike Green and Trey Hendrickson. Just seems like the Ravens are going to constantly create pressure and get to the quarterback next year. But that's going to do it for today's video. So let me know down in the comments which standout you're most excited for. And if you guys think Mike Green is posed for a big breakout season next year. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the Flock Takeover, where we have almost daily coverage and daily videos coming out so you guys don't miss any offseason news moving into the regular season. Thank you guys for all watching, and that's it. Peace.